Autolog, Essex Headquarters, Facility 3, Dr. Willoughby speaking. I'm the head researcher for metabiologicals, and I'm starting this log because we are on day 1 of a 7-day trial. Now, by 7 days I actually mean 7 days. That's the limited window in which we have this particular subject. And I think that's bollocks, honestly. We're hardly going to get anywhere. We're barely going to have the man cut open, much less cut up. We might get some skin trials, blood transfers, bone density. Would love to take a poke around the brain. Might get some readings of sensory input, sensory organs. But really, we're not going to get very far in 7 days. I mean, even if he is willing. And the sheet says willing, though I can hardly believe that. And aside from processing, we really haven't gotten very far. The subject is complex, and not something that we see terribly often in the lab. Most of the sanguine, or Homo sanguinis, are mutated at some level, but this particular specimen is quite human-looking. At least when he chooses to be. I mean, I'm not going to discount the possibility of shape-changing or illusion projection. We've got him in the anima deadening room at the moment, and of course we're rather firmly behind wards. But I can't help feeling as if the subject obviously has some abilities that aren't registering on the animic. Ward seemed to be stopping it, and he's not trying to get out. I can accept that. But there's definitely more here than what we're seeing. My science senses are tingling. And when that happens, there's always a discovery to be found. And sometimes I find it quickly, sometimes it takes a while. In this particular instance, it has to happen within 7 bloody days. This is not enough time. I'll just have to make do. All paperwork is filed. I'm told that we have uninterrupted access, and that this particular subject has no external communication or connections that we need to worry about. There's access to mobile devices has obviously been taken away. He is under restraint, and I've got some tracking chemicals and nanosynthetics going through his system right now. I want to just map out his internals. And since apparently dissection is out of the question, we'll probably end up just having to go with some non-invasive MRIs. We've got a full-body scanner downstairs, and I'm approved for vivisection, which I intend to do, but probably not for a couple of days. I mean, why not start from the outside in, right? I've taken samples of a number of things, and I've definitely pulled some blood. You have a sanguinist, of course you're going to pull blood. Those tests are coming back inconclusive, so I'll end up having to take more. And of course I know that if you take too much, you end up having to give it back. We have several different stocks of blood, and I intend to do some endurance trials. I've got some theories on the sanguinis that the quality of the blood makes a big difference in their abilities. It's the basic concepts, right? I mean, if you have lower order vermin, well, their blood isn't as rich in various nutrients, and although I don't think that it's actually a nutrient-based system, I think it has more to do with life essence. Oh, such a wibbly term, isn't it? I prefer the idea of a bio-rich field, but every time I call it that, people cross their eyes at me, so we'll just go with life essence. Forgive me on that. It's not very good science, but then all of this is a bit research-tetchy, you know? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off with just one quick note. I don't like going over 5 minutes. Yes, Researchers Samantha and Peter are no longer allowed to be in any way, shape, or form alone with the subject. After about 15 minutes of conversation, Peter was attempting to leave the area rather quickly, actually. I think he was going to tender his resignation. And Samantha was attempting to set him free. I don't know how he accomplished this, but yes, we're just going to limit their access. Samantha's quite excellent and will make a great file clerk. As for Peter, well, permanent reassignment, I think. I never did like Peter. End log.